Two of the healthiest crops that everyone should be growing in their garden is squash and sweet potatoes. They have a long shelf life and they're really easy to prepare. This is a honey nut butternut squash, and I love these because they're so tiny. So they're perfect for 1 or 2 servings at a time. So you're not cooking an entire squash just to have it for one meal. And of course, a sweet potato. These are always perfect for 1 or 2 people. I love using butternut squashes for pies because they mimic the flavor of pumpkins, but they're not quite as sweet as a pumpkin, so you get that really nice flavor without all the extra sugar. Both of these are great mashed. We use them a variety of ways from breakfast to dinner. They're great on their own, but you can also add a little bit of brown sugar with some butter, or they're great with some maple syrup as well. I love cooking these at the same time because it's basically the same process, and then we have a variety to choose from when we go to eat it. Let's prepare these to cook. So we're going to cut the squash in half and remove the seeds. And with the sweet potato, we're going to wash it off with a vegetable brush to make sure we get all of the impurities and dirt off of it. And then we're going to poke some holes into it, put it in a baking dish, and these will be ready for the oven. Because the squash is hard, it's kind of difficult to cut it. So the way that I usually do it is get started with the heel of your knife. And once you get that started, then you're going to bring your other hand up in case it were to roll. We don't want to cut the hand. So bring that up and kind of press with both of your hands. And then we'll take the knife out and we'll rotate it and go back into your cut with both hands at the top again and press down. And there you have it. So notice we have our seeds inside. We want to remove these. And a cool thing about the seeds is that you can remove them, wash them off, dry them out. You can roast them and eat them just like that, or save them and plant them in your garden next year to create some more squash. We'll just take a small spoon and you just go around the edges. There's a little bit of a membrane in there that holds the seeds in, so you kind of want to break that away from the fruit. If you do have a little bit of that membrane left, that's not an issue. That's edible as well. We just want to make sure we get all the seeds out. All right, there's our squash. So now we'll place this in our baking dish. And I like to put about a tablespoon of butter divided between the two. We're going to put about a half a tablespoon of butter per squash. Okay, now that we've got our butter in there, we're going to add some cinnamon. I like to sprinkle it all over. And then also, I love adding some brown sugar to this. Now these are ready to go to the oven. Now we have our sweet potatoes washed, so we'll just want to poke holes in these, just like you would with a normal baked potato. This just allows the heat to penetrate better so that they cook more thoroughly. All right, these are both ready to go into the oven. We're ready to place these in the oven. We've preheated it to 425 degrees. It's going to take about 20 to 30 minutes for the squash and closer to an hour for the sweet potato. And we're back. The squash took about 25 minutes to cook and the sweet potatoes took about 45 minutes, but we're ready to cut them up and prepare them for our jars. We're going to start with the sweet potato. The best way that I have found to cut these up is by first taking the ends off and then making an incision in the middle. And what we want to do is peel the skin away from the meat. So you can store these in cubes, but I like to mash them. That way they're just ready to be warmed up and served later. We'll start by Cutting off the ends. And then we'll make an incision. And it might just peel right off. And then what I'm gonna do is cut this into smaller sections. I like using mason jars to store these because it's glass, so it's non-toxic. Plus it has a nice sealing lid, so it keeps all the freshness inside, and it's going to prevent your sweet potato from rotting in the fridge. There's one jar. Now we'll do the squash, and these are a little bit different to peel. It does feel like the skin is already starting to pull away from the meat. What I typically like to do is cut it into strips. And then you can take a section of it and start peeling away the skin, and actually, that is beautiful. It's coming, coming right off. Another trick that you can do is peel the skin a little bit. Use your fork to mash the squash down and pull it right off the skin. Just like that. And so it's already pre-mashed and you've taken your skin completely off. Same with these. I like to use a mason jar. And these can get pretty messy, so don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. So that's all there is to it. These are super easy to grow, super easy to cook, and they are incredibly healthy to supplement your family's meals. We grow these in our gardens year over year, and they never disappoint. I love being able to have these fresh in the wintertime because they're so comforting. When it's really cold outside, you can just warm up a nice bowl of squash or sweet potato, and it's delicious for any meal or even as a snack. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this.